Hi guys, so welcome to this channel Market Mind Insights where we talk a lot about finance. If you want to learn about finance, you can just watch our previous videos. So in today's videos, we will talk about how we can do the complete fundamental analysis using AI. Yes, so as the AI is in picture these days, we can see how we can leverage AI to do our analysis in a more precise and a better way. So there are a lot of other tools out there in market, like we have ChatGPT, we have Perplexity, maybe we have Sonnet, but all of them serves a different purpose. So I've tried almost all of them and came up with the best one, so which is the Perplexity AI. So you can just Google, you can just search it on Google about the Perplexity AI. Sorry. And yes, this is the one, Perplexity AI. So if you are using so if you have an Airtel SIM, uh, it will be free for you for at least 1 year. Or maybe if you have Airtel broadband, you can just go to Airtel Thanks app and you can claim that. And if not, the free version also works in a similar way. There is hardly any difference between the analysis. So now when we click on this plus icon, we can see the home button. In home, we have various categories. So currently we'll be focusing on the finance as we have to do the fundamental analysis. So once I click on finance, so it will show me the options. It will basically show me the two options. One is the Indian market and the other one is the US market. So we'll deep dive on both of them. So first let's start with the Indian market. Not just Indian market, we can also see how we can analyze the cryptos. So firstly, when we see the Indian market, we have a beautiful dashboard here, which says the Nifty 50, its current point, Sensex, Nifty Bank, and here we have the Bitcoin. Again, once we on the right hand side, we have the watch list section as well, which has relevant stocks. If you want, you can just click on this plus icon to add them onto your watch list. Apart from this, we also have the market summary. So if you want, you can just again read them out. Uh, these are the market summaries, and we have a recent development section, which are basically news. And all these information, it has the sources from where it comes from. So if you read this, so it will just give you the information, and apart from information you can view the sources from where those particular information this model is actually fetching. uh, Apart from this, we have the standouts which really did well. We have various other stocks as well here, like BML, GMDCL. So again, you can just enter your stock and you can just start analyzing right away. So this was the dashboard. We have the gainers, we have the losers, and we also have the cryptocurrencies here, which we'll talk at the last. So let's try to let's try to analyze any of this Indian stock. Let me analyze HDFC Bank. So this is the HDFC Bank from NSE, and again we have its market price, we have its uh, data, like what was the last traded price and did it went up or down. We have the graphs. It is a 1 day, 5 day, we can place 5 years and the max graph as well. Apart from this, if we just look at the graph, we also have on the right hand side the symbol, market cap, IPOs, and all those information, necessary information basically. And again, if you want to compare this HDFC Bank graph with some different stock, or maybe some different banking sector stock. So what you can do is, here you can just come here and you can compare this with maybe State Bank of India. So now we have the State Bank of India graph and we have the HDFC bank graph. So if I look for the 1 year data, yeah, this is how it looks. Again, here you have the numbers, the stock prices, it went up, went down. So this is basically, it shows in 1 year what is the what has been happened to them. Again, we have some important metrics like previous close, open, day range, market cap, dividend, earning per share, volume, PE ratio. So if you want to learn more about PE ratio, which is one of the most important fundamental aspect, you can just visit my YouTube channel and you can just find information about them. Again, we have the recent development section. So if you want, you can read this news. We have the key issues. So this is very important section. So if you see, if you read this article, it will say why it shows a bullish view, and if you read this, it will show like why it shows a bearish view. Again, not just these, we have the asset quality and increasing provision, we have sustainability of earnings. So again, you can just keep on reading these data just to analyze it financially in a more better way. Again, we have the latest price movement, which shows how the stock is doing day wise. So there will be few days where the stock is falling. This might be one of the reason why it falls. And again, we have the sources from where this is picking up the data. Okay, so this was the basic overview of a stock. Again, we can navigate to the historical data section and we can just see the data. If we want, we can just download the history as well. This shows the open, close, high, low and volume. And we have the financials where we have the market cap, debt, cash, revenue, EBITDA. So this is the earning before interest, tax, depreciation and appreciation. We have the net income, we have earning per share diluted, we have cash flows, we have free cash flows. And then we have the insights and it shows what signal it is giving. Again, so this is, if we go about income statement, we can again read all these important data as well. So in future, I'll be creating in-depth video on all these metrics, like what are they and how they actually impact. As of now, you can just understand it, like how it is, what are the what the data actually tells about. Again, this is the balance sheet. I think it's the standalone balance sheet for the HDFC bank. This is the cash flow. Again, you can just change it to quarterly as well if you want. You can change this data from millions to billions or thousands. You can again download it as well. If we go about earnings, so this is the estimate revenue. This is the estimate EPS. This is the upcoming data. This was the previous quarter. This was Q4 for 2025. So these are the important earnings data. So this is the research section. So it shows some additional information about this stock, like what they are actually doing. If you want, you can just click on here, view source, and read more about it. So this was basic about how we can do the fundamental analysis of Indian stocks. Again, there are high chances that you might not understand these terms, or let's say if I'm not understanding what is PE ratio is. So I'll come here and I'll say, okay, what is the PE ratio actually means here. I have just asked about what is PE ratio and it just provided me the entire data. What is PE ratio, how it is calculated, why it matters. So again, this is how it actually works. And so this is the standard search which we are doing. If you want a deep research, you can enable this. If you want maybe creating some project which is not relevant here, so you can enable this inside button. After that, uh, if you want, you can just follow this. If you want a price alert, you can just set a price alert. You can define your alert criteria. Let's say if you want a target price, maybe something above or below, and then if you want a notification, you can just enable it, so it will basically trigger a price alert for you. So currently I'm not using all these advanced features. So this is how we can this is the overview of how we can do the analysis of the stock. Again, after this, let's try to analyze a US stock. So again, I'll come here to the finance section. I'll just go to the US market, and again we have S&P futures, Nasdaq futures, Dow futures. So let's say we want to analyze this Amazon stock. Again, here also the dashboard is pretty same. These are the standout, these are the finance research and all those good information. So let's, if we do the analysis of the Amazon, again the same goes in for the US stock as well. We have the graph, you can change it to maybe yearly graph, and then again these are the data that we saw in the Indian stocks as well, like previous closing, PE, volume, EPS and all those things. And then we have the key issues, we have the developments which are going on, you can just read them. Again, we have the sources mentioned, we have the retail momentum, we have the price movement, how it was actually doing on September 11th. Let's say it went up by 0.79%. So you can read this, like why it actually did like that. This may be one of the reason. Again, it's very difficult to predict the market, like what actually is happening, what actually can happen. And again, these are the sources from where they are getting the data. And yeah, so this was the dashboard of the, let's say, US stock. Again, we have the historical data like we had earlier. For the Indian stock, we have the financial section, which you can again view them. You can see how this stock is actually doing. You can see the free cash flow from negative has turned to positive. Maybe 21 was not so good as it was COVID and all. We have the income statement, balance sheet, we have the cash flow. Again, we have the earnings like we had earlier. We had the holders section as well here, which shows like which are the major holders for this Amazon. Again, we have the research, so we can just have the we can read the articles related to this stock, like what people are saying or what they are actually, what is actually happening with this stock. Okay, so this was pretty much about the US stock. Again, you can just play around, there are a lot to explore. I cannot cover everything in this single video. So again, you can do the sectoral analysis as well. So this is technology, energy, staples, communication. If you want to do the analysis of crypto, let's say we want to analyze a crypto. So these are my favorite cryptos, usually Bitcoin, Ethereum and Solana. These are the places where I generally invest. Again, this is not an investment advice. Please do your own due diligence. So if you view Bitcoin, so it's, I mean, it's at its all-time high. If you see the chart, you see it's at all-time high. There was a slight correction here and again it went up. So again, we have some important metrics here like open, low. Then we have the historical data. If you want, you can just again export it locally. So yeah, So this was pretty much about how we can do the fundamental analysis using AI. Again, I've showed you just the dashboard. Okay, so now let's try to write a few prompts and let's see how it actually behaves. Okay, so now I will give him a question like, is it safe to buy HDFC bank stock based on the current financials? So now it will again analyze the stock. It did its analysis. It gave us some financial indicators. So it's saying, okay, profit after tax is 168.2 billion, which is 5.3 year on year growth. EPS is 22.1. These are the indicator. These are the safety and recommendation. Okay, so it's saying the strong fundamentals, low NPA, robust growth, profit, significant upside according to most analysts. Long term outlook, it remains bullish. Okay, so if you're a long term investor, you can just have this idea, okay, it will definitely go up. Even that's what I feel. So it says the conclusion is fundamentally sound and considered safe for the fresh investment, especially for long-term investor. But the expectation for rapid short-term gain should be tempered given recent underperformance and technical caution. So it provided its verdict as well, what to do, what not to do. Again, you can do your own due diligence, use your own thorough research, keep asking, keep giving the prompts until you are okay with the complete analysis. After that, you can take a call. So I think that's will wind up the today's video, and you can subscribe to my channel if you want more such content. Thank you.